Hello again, this is Bob Ford. I'm back again with Bob Ford's History, Mystery, and Lore. If you're new to the channel, here we dive into all kinds of interesting historical topics, so please like and subscribe. If you love history, you will enjoy the 12 YouTube videos we have completed thus far. Check them out and consider joining as a patron. You'll receive the new ones before other history buffs. Go to our website, bobfordshistory.com, to help support the work. Today, we're getting into part 2 of my Jesse James video series. Let's get started. How much distance in the saddle could the James gang cover in one day? Is it 30, 40, 50 miles to get to their target? You may be shocked to know it could be even more. As you may know, I frequent Civil War battlefields. For years, I would meet my old friend Bob Maxey, who didn't make it through COVID. Rest in peace, Bob. He always set up exceptional guides that shared our passion. On our final trip, we were meeting in Corinth, Mississippi to tour the Shiloh battlefield 15 miles to the north. The escort chosen on this adventure was Woody Harrell. He seemed like an ordinary, unassuming fellow until he revealed himself to be the recently retired superintendent of the Shiloh and Corinth National Battlefields. In other words, he was the man. He had a great slow draw and southern charm about him that's led to a nice relationship and several podcasts. We got in a car and left Corinth for the short drive to the battlefield, which was along the same trails taken by the 40,000 attacking Confederate troops on April 5, 1862. In the car, Woody blurted out, "I can't believe I'm in a car with Bob Ford from St. Joseph, Missouri." Well, that was nice. I have interviewed several Civil War experts from different states, and thinking someone must have dropped my name, I was feeling pretty good. Nope. Woody continued, "The James gang came to Corinth, Mississippi and robbed the largest bank in 1874, and Bob Ford, that dirty little coward, killed Jesse in St. Joe." Well, my ego now properly deflated, he knew my name and city from Jesse James. I was stunned that Jesse and the boys rode this far and robbed a bank in the Deep South. Part of the mystique about Jesse, depicted in the newspapers, justified his thievery as liberating confiscated Southern money from Yankee banks. There were no Yankee dollars in Corinth, I can assure you. The Tishomingo Savings Bank was the only bank in northern Mississippi at the time, and it was loaded. Jesse and his 5 comrades rode up to their front door on the morning of December 7th, 1874, while court was in session just down the street. Alonzo Taylor, the owner and president, had never been robbed before. The small lobby was nearly vacant when Jesse and 2 comrades entered to make their withdrawal. With guns drawn and threats made, Taylor refused to open the vault until Jesse pulled out his Bowie knife and sliced open the president's forehead, letting blood drip into his eyes. The gang escaped with $15,000 in cash, diamonds, and gold jewelry. It was a big haul. A job like that takes time and preparation. The day before the robbery, they rode into Corinth and had all their horses shod, knowing some hard riding was about to take place. The raiders had stayed as polite paying guests on several different farms on their way down. They professed to be cattle buyers as they had in the past and would again in the future. The James Younger gang took part in many criminal firsts. Shortly after the end of the war, February 13, 1866, Frank James and friends rode up to the Clay County Savings Association on the square in Liberty, Missouri, and committed the first daylight robbery of a bank in the United States. No doubt nervous, the gang left the bank with the loot when someone started shooting. Unfortunately, a stray bullet hit and killed William Jewell College student George Jolly Waymore. He was across the square. People in Liberty recognized the members of the gang, but didn't come forward out of fear. Frank and his band got away that day with over $60,000 in cash and bonds. Not a bad day's work. Jesse would soon join, and the legend was off on a gallop. Another first occurred just outside of Dare, Iowa, July 21st, 1873, when the gang masterfully planned and robbed a scheduled train. They derailed the Chicago Rock Island and Pacific engine and coal car by stealing a spike bar and hammer, allowing the robbers to pull out spikes on a curve, forcing the moving train off the tracks and into a ravine. The engineer was killed, and the fireman later died from his injuries, but the gold shipment that was supposed to be scheduled on the train was not there. The second best option was to rob the traumatized and injured passengers, which happened with minimal success. By now, the James Younger gang had a following. Some newspapers and dime novels added to the legend because it was about the Wild West, and people love reading about shootouts, posses, and basically good versus evil, especially if evil had a hint of justification. Since 1871, the Pinkerton Detective Agency had been hired by railroads, banks, freight haulers, and mining companies to bring in the James gang, dead or alive. They failed miserably for years, adding to the outlaw's legacy. Once an agent named Jack Ladd disguised himself as a field worker on Don Askew's farm that neighbored the James homestead near Kearney, Missouri, hoping to spot the brothers when they were home. Thinking they were back, the Pinkertons surrounded the James house at midnight, hurling 2 explosive devices into the kitchen window. The explosions could be heard for miles as the attackers listened to the groans and screams coming from inside. As day broke, Archie Samuels, Jesse's 9-year-old stepbrother, was killed by the blast, and the right arm of Jesse's mother was blown to bits. It had to be amputated a short time later. It's not known whether Jesse or Frank were even in the state. Later that year, at separate times, Pinkerton Detective Jack Ladd and Farmer Dan Askew were both found with bullet holes in the back of their heads. Newspapers jumped all over the story, adding to the James growing lore with sympathy. Towards the end, the gang had been lucky and stolen a lot of money. As with most successful ventures, they planned on pressing their luck just one more time and then lead a quiet, law-abiding life. Right after, they took a 300-mile ride to Northfield, Minnesota. More on that fateful robbery and the destruction of the James Younger gang next time, along with the assassination of Jesse James himself by that famously named coward, Bob Ford. Thank you very much to Rupp Funeral Home for sponsoring this video. They started in St. Joseph in 1939 and have been serving this community faithfully ever since. Thank you, Rupp. Thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe. I'll be bringing you the final part 3 of this series very soon, so please look forward to that. Also consider becoming a patron for more exclusive historical content. All my videos go up there several days early. Becoming a patron is truly the best way to support the channel. Comment below what historical topics you'd like me to cover next. You can find my podcast for Bob Ford's history, mystery, and lore linked below. See you next time. Bob Ford out.